Hi, my name is Dan Dexel. Today I'm going to talk to you about phase change materials, specifically cool packs, what they are, some recent studies that were done on them, and how they can help you train and compete in hot weather conditions. Phase change material, basically there are several out there. You think of ice, water, changes phases at 0 degrees from a liquid to a solid. A cool packs is basically the same thing, but it changes from a liquid to a solid at 14 degrees Celsius. Why this is important is that when you put this next to your body, you're creating a cool environment that's not harmful to your skin as far as getting frostbite from maybe a gel pack that might be too cold. Science has shown that 14-15 degrees is a good temperature to put on the body when temperatures get too hot to keep the effects of heat stress minimized. When you take one of our cool packs inserts out of the fridge, freezer, or ice water, that temperature is going to be reflective of what the environment was that you pulled it out of. So if it was a -2 degree environment, possibly in a freezer, that cool packs will start off at -2. Once that's placed against the body, it will quickly adjust to its sensible heat temperature of 14 degrees and then begin to continue to draw heat away from the muscle group that it's targeting. During this process, you'll find that the cool packs will start to melt and liquefy. During this period is the latent heat period, and those cool packs will maintain 14 degrees until every last part of that liquid is melted. At that point, it will start to absorb the heat from ambient temperature and increase, which is the time that you want to put that back into the fridge or freezer and get it prepared for the next cooling session. These studies have shown that using phase change materials such as cool packs inserts accelerates muscle recovery with athletes post-exercise. This is accomplished by the prolonged duration of cooling to the deep tissues of the muscle. A secondary benefit of phase change cooling is that it can be applied to the core using a vest, providing a systemic effect leading to reduction of core temperatures, which will also accelerate cardiovascular recovery. In the study, The Cold Truth, we learned that the goal of cryotherapy is to apply it immediately and abundantly in order to limit the proliferation of secondary tissue damage that occurs in the hours after injury or strenuous exercise bouts. Cryotherapy is needed when rapid recovery is required between exercise bouts, as opposed to after just routine training. Ultimately, the effectiveness of cryotherapy as a recovery method is dependent upon its ability to maintain a reduction in muscle temperature and on the timing of treatment with respect to when the injury occurred or the exercise ceased. Our next study looked at muscle recovery in baseball pitchers using the phase change material cooling. So essentially, testing was performed with baseball pitchers. We wanted to document arm strength, arm soreness, and blood markers of muscle damage after a pitching performance. The results were that recovery of strength was accelerated when cooling was applied for 3 hours post-game. Findings are of great importance because no recovery method to date has been able to accelerate the recovery of strength in baseball pitchers. The study concluded that the phase change materials accelerated the recovery of muscle function in baseball pitchers after a game. Essentially, applying the cool packs directly to a shoulder or injured area as soon as possible after the game will help muscle function, muscle recovery, and reduce soreness. It's important to note you do not want to use the phase change material during the game if you're still pitching. You want to keep that muscle warmed up while it's in use. You want to use the cooling post-exercise. In case study Cryotherapy Reinvented, application of phase change material for recovery in elite soccer, the study was carried out to test efficacy of phase change material as a recovery method, its practicality, as well as athlete perceived effectiveness of wearing a recovery garment. 11 elite soccer players wore either cold phase change material packs as treatment or the packs left at ambient temperature, our control packs, for 3 hours after a soccer match on their quadriceps. Counter movement jump height, maximal isometric voluntary contraction, as well as muscle soreness and the adapted brief assessment of mood questionnaire were measured before 12, 36, and 60 hours after each match. The results indicated an accelerated recovery of strength and soreness. The phase change material provides a practical means of delivering prolonged post-exercise cooling. Muscle soreness was 26.5% lower at 36 hours and 24% lower at 60 hours. After wearing the cold packs, the athletes indicated that their readiness to play was sooner than if they didn't use the phase change cold packs. The advantages found were that the cold packs were easily portable. They can be applied to a large group of athletes. They allow the athletes to move freely during use. They offer a highly practical means of applying cryotherapy to enhance recovery following competitive team sport matches. They offer an attractive alternative method of enhancing recovery when access to cold water therapy is not available, perhaps during away competition. And the other advantage is that can be applied to specific targeted muscle locations, such as the quadriceps, whereas an ice bath or cryo machine is either full lower body or the core. These various studies show that using phase change materials, such as a Cool Packs insert, accelerates muscle recovery with athletes post-exercise. It's accomplished by a prolonged duration of cooling to the deep tissues of the muscle. This must be done as soon as possible after the exercise to achieve the best results. The secondary benefit of phase change cooling is that it can be applied to the core by a cooling vest or some other garment. This will lead to a reduction in core temperature, which will accelerate cardiovascular recovery. Cool Packs phase change inserts and cooling vests are a proven tool that athletes should add to their arsenal. It has the added benefit of being wearable, easily transported, and will maintain a steady temperature of 14 degrees Celsius. In conclusion, we learned that Cool Packs phase change inserts can provide portable cooling. They're easily refrozen. They are at a safe temperature of 14 degrees Celsius. You can target specific muscle groups, and they can be worn in a vest to provide systemic cooling for quicker cardiovascular recovery. The other takeaways are you want to apply the inserts on a specific muscle group as soon as possible after either injury or your exercise has ceased. And you want to try and keep that cooling for roughly 3 hours. If you're able to apply cooling for up to 6 hours, you'll get a little more benefit from the deeper tissue cooling of the Cool Packs.